I'm Samantha Fulcher, a master's level counselor at Counseling and Prevention Services at Wichita State University. This presentation will provide a broad overview of what stress is, its causes, and ways to cope with stress. Every day, we are met with demands of our time and energy that we need to respond to. A stressor is an event that creates demands, and a stress response is a person's reaction to those demands. When a person is faced with a stressor, they judge the event and evaluate if it's dangerous or safe. Is the stressor a threat to me or a challenge I can overcome? Sometimes people are able to take action, and the stress response goes away. But sometimes people do not feel they have the ability or resources to cope with these stressors and do not respond in the healthiest way. Some stressors can include changes in life or routine, social isolation, academic demands, the loss of a loved one, harassment or bullying, stereotypes, discrimination, and relationship problems at home or work. When an individual is experiencing prolonged stress, it can actually cause harm and potentially lead to physical and mental illness. Therefore, it is important that you do not ignore stress symptoms for too long. It is vital that you pay attention to signs of stress and take the steps to deal with it effectively. We will cover some signs and symptoms of stress in the areas of emotions, cognition, physical health, and behavioral changes. Before I do that, take a minute and picture a recent fight you have had with someone, or a recent move across the country or globe, or paying a huge bill. Notice the thoughts and feelings that arise. On a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being no stress at all and 10 being very high stress, how would you rate your stress level? Can you notice how your body and mind respond to too much stress? Let's look at how stress impacts your emotional health. You may notice that with stress, your mood changes. You may worry more. You may feel sad often and have negative thoughts about yourself or others. You may get annoyed or irritated quickly. And you may not feel as motivated as you used to. Your cognitive thought processes may also be impacted. In the area of cognition, you may notice that it is hard for you to concentrate, that you have confused thoughts, that you have racing thoughts and are consumed with worry. And you may notice that you are forgetting things. Stress can impact your physical health as well. When stressed, you may notice that you breathe faster to draw in oxygen, and your heart beats faster to push more blood. If your body is constantly responding this way to stress, it can lead to physical illness, such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, upset stomach, or sleep problems. Stress can also impact our daily routine in a variety of ways, including missing class, being absent from work, running late often, changes in our appetite, or the use of substances. So if stress is so bad for us, why do we have it at all? The truth is that not all stress is bad for us. We actually need some amount of stress to perform optimally in our day-to-day lives. Let's take a look at how stress affects us at the biological level. As stated before, stress actually has a purpose. Our bodies have a natural response to stress. We call it the general adaptation syndrome. Imagine watching a scary movie. Oftentimes, there's usually some sort of jump scare that frightens you. Notice your body's response to that frightful image. Maybe your heart is beating fast, your body feels hot, maybe you are even sweating a bit from the fear that overcame you. This is what we call our alarm reaction. It's essentially our body's natural way of telling us that a threat or challenge is present, and we need to mobilize all of our resources to overcome it. That's when our body enters into its resistance stage. However, as we all know, our bodies can only stay at that high alert stage for so long. Eventually, we soon realize the jump scare is not actually a threat, and we cycle into the third stage of exhaustion. This is when our body starts to naturally calm itself and provide ourselves with some relief, knowing the situation is no longer threatening. This process is normal, and knowing its purpose is important. If we run into a real-life situation, such as a stray dog ready to attack or something similar, our body's natural response will help us run away. An example, like a scary movie jump scare or running from a stray dog, is usually brief. Our body exerts itself and then quickly recovers. However, as previously mentioned, prolonged stress without adequate resources to help one deal with adversity can lead to harmful outcomes. An example of this prolonged stress could be persistent depression, domestic violence, or discrimination. The body's natural response to stress is firing too often, thus making us more vulnerable to both physical and mental illness as our body's reserves are depleted more often. This is why it is important to seek help if you are ever feeling overwhelmed and unable to manage your stress. This is a short video that shows how stress can be beneficial and how your outlook on stress can really make a difference. Please go to YouTube after this video and look up how to make stress your friend. When you experience stress, there are a variety of coping strategies available to help you. Here are just a few positive ways to cope with stress. Practice deep breathing. Do some yoga. Pray or meditate. Exercise. Spend time with family and friends. Or try practicing gratitude. Another way to manage stress is having a daily routine. Often people say they don't have enough time to practice all of this. But remember, even 5 minutes in your day can make a difference. Some people will use all of these coping strategies at various points in their lives, where others may find that they frequently use the same coping strategy to manage their stress. Whatever your coping preference, we encourage you to use healthy coping strategies to manage your stress. You may also want to try out stopbreathethink.org to listen to brief mindfulness exercises that you can practice on a daily basis. Remember, practice is key. So, what is one positive coping strategy you want to include in your daily lifestyle? Write this down on a piece of paper and hang it somewhere where you can be reminded daily to incorporate this into your routine. If you find that you are still struggling with stressors or symptoms of stress, please do not hesitate to seek out professional help. Stop by Counseling and Prevention Services on the second floor of the Student Wellness Center or call us at 316-978-4792 to schedule an appointment with one of our licensed professionals. Remember, you are not alone and that we are here to support you. Thank you for listening to the short presentation on handling stress.